The Mars 500 mission experiment conducted between 2007 and 2011 by Russia, the European Space Agency, and China, in preparation for an unspecified future crewed spaceflight to the planet Mars. The experiment's facility was located at the Russian Academy of Sciences Institute of Biomedical Problems, IBMP, in Moscow, Russia. Between 2007 and 2011, 3 different crews of volunteers lived and worked in a mock-up spacecraft at IBMP. The final stage of the experiment, which was intended to simulate a 520-day crewed mission, was conducted by an all-male crew consisting of 3 Russians, Alexei Sitev, Sukhrav Kamelo, Alexander Smolensky, a Frenchman, Roman Charles, an Italian, Diego Urbina, and a Chinese citizen, Yue Wang. The mock-up facility simulated an Earth-Mars shuttle spacecraft, an ascent-descent craft, and the Martian surface. The volunteers who participated in the 3 stages included professionals with experience in engineering, medicine, biology, and human spaceflight. The experiment yielded important data on the physiological, social, and psychological effects of long-term, close-quarters isolation. Mars 500 was intended to study the psychological, physiological, and technological challenges inherent to long-duration spaceflight. Among other hurdles to overcome, the experiment examined the physiological effects of long-term weightlessness, the effectiveness of resource management, and the effects of isolation in a hermetically sealed environment. Mars 500's communication systems were designed with an average delay of 13 minutes, to simulate the actual transmission time to and from a Mars-bound spacecraft. The scientific goals of Mars 500 included the study of potential habitat designs, with a particular focus on medical and psychological support for the crew, who would necessarily be confined in a relatively small spacecraft, with relatively limited medical facilities, for the 7 to 9 month journey to Mars. In total, 640 experiment days were scheduled between 2007 and 2011, divided into 3 stages of differing length. During each stage, the crew of volunteers lived and worked in a mock-up spacecraft. Communication with the outside world was limited, and was conducted with a realistic time delay of up to 25 minutes, to simulate the real-life communications lag between Mars and Earth. Similarly, a realistically limited supply of on-board consumables was provided for the volunteers. Some conditions, such as weightlessness and cosmic radiation, could not be simulated. The first 15-day stage of the Mars 500 experiment took place from November 15, 2007 to November 27, 2007. The purpose of this stage was to test the technical equipment, facilities, and operating procedures for the voyage. The second, 105-day stage of the experiment began on March 31, 2009, when 6 volunteers started living in the experiment's isolated living complex. On July 14, 2009, this stage of the experiment was completed.